Have you ever felt like you're talking to this incredibly brilliant AI, but the answers you're getting back are just kind of mediocre? Well, I'm going to let you in on a secret. The gap isn't the model, it's the prompt. Today, we're going to go beyond just asking questions. We are going to unlock the hidden skill that turns those generic AI responses into powerful, precise results. Let's get into the unwritten rules of prompt engineering. You've probably heard this famous line, right? It's not just some cool thing to say about the weather, it's actually the heart of chaos theory. And it's all about something called initial conditions. This idea that tiny, almost invisible changes at the very beginning of a process can lead to massively different outcomes later on. So, what on earth does that have to do with AI? Well, here's the thing, they do. That single word you decide to change, that slight rephrasing of a question, that extra little bit of context you add, those are the butterfly wings of your AI interactions. They're the initial conditions that are going to determine whether you get a gentle breeze of an answer or a full-blown tornado of insight. And that's exactly what we're going to call this, the prompt butterfly effect. It's this core principle that the smallest, tiniest variations in how you frame a request can lead to wildly different outputs. I'm talking differences in quality, in reasoning, and most importantly, in accuracy. But you know what? This isn't some dark art. It's a science we can actually break down. Okay, let's make this real. Take a look at this example. On the left, you've got what we'll call a lazy prompt. Explain neural networks. It's vague, it's simple, and what you get back is, well, it's a generic, textbook answer. Not very helpful. But now look at the right. This is a structured prompt. Notice the difference? We've given the AI a role, some context, and a super clear task. And the result? It's so much more insightful and actually useful. So here's the good news. You don't have to be some kind of AI whisperer to get this right. This isn't magic. It's not some innate talent you're born with. Getting these amazing results is a skill. It's a discipline with real frameworks and best practices that, honestly, anyone can learn and start using, like right now. So, the big question. How do you actually do it? Let's stop talking theory and get into practice. What we've done is taking the best practices from a bunch of different expert frameworks and boiled them down into one simple, actionable blueprint that you can use for pretty much any task you can think of. Okay, here it is, our 5-step prompt blueprint. First, you give the AI a role. Tell it, you are a senior data analyst. This primes its brain. Second, give it context. Something like, I'm looking at student dropout data. Third, state the task as clearly as possible. Identify the top 3 predictors. Fourth, and this is a big one, specify the format you want back. Give me the answer as a numbered list. And finally, for anything tricky, provide examples of what a good output looks like. That little trick is called few-shot prompting, and it works wonders for consistency. Now, you want a real power-up technique? It's called chain of thought prompting. Instead of just asking for the final answer, you tell the AI to think step by step or to explain your reasoning. See what we're doing here? You're not just changing what you ask, you're changing how the AI is allowed to think. You're forcing it to build a logical path to the conclusion, kind of like showing its work in a math problem. And the results? They're absolutely staggering. Research from Google DeepMind shows that for those really complex, multi-step problems, just using chain of thought prompting can boost accuracy by over 40%. 40% compared to just asking for a direct answer. It's the same model, just a way, way smarter prompt. Okay, so you've mastered the blueprint, you're using chain of thought, you're feeling pretty good. But there's a catch. The rules aren't universal. The best way to prompt an AI actually changes depending on who made it. So let's take a look at the big 3. OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. What's so fascinating here is seeing how the core philosophy of each company completely changes the best way to prompt their models. I mean, look at this table. OpenAI is all about minimalism. Be simple, be direct. But then you have Google's models, which absolutely thrive on structure and examples. You gotta show them what you want. And then there's Anthropic, which wants you to go even further and actually structure the AI's thinking process, sometimes using special tags, almost like you're coding. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that there is no single one-size-fits-all perfect prompt. The best prompt is an adaptive one. You really have to understand the architecture and the philosophy behind the AI you're using. That's the real key to unlocking its best performance. And all of this brings us right to the next frontier. Because as important as prompting is, the truly cutting-edge work right now is shifting from the prompt itself to the entire information environment that we build around the AI. And this has a name. It's called context engineering. Here's the absolute simplest way to think about it. Prompt engineering is the art of crafting that one perfect question you ask the AI in the moment. Context engineering, though, is the science of designing the entire mental world the AI operates in. Its memory, the documents it can see, the tools it can use. It's all about what the AI knows before you even ask your question. AI expert Andrej Karpathy put it perfectly. He said it's about filling the AI's short-term memory, that's the context window, with just the right information. Notice he didn't say all the information. It's about finding that minimal set of really high signal stuff it needs to nail the task at hand. And this is precisely why just having a massive million-token context window isn't the magic bullet people think it is. In fact, research from Stanford uncovered this lost-in-the-middle problem. It turns out AIs really struggle to find and use relevant information when it's buried deep inside a super long document. So more context isn't always better. Better context is better. So how does bad context actually mess things up? Well, this slide breaks down 4 of the key failure modes. First, you've got poisoning, where one tiny error in the context gets repeated over and over. Then there's distraction, where the AI just gets sidetracked by totally irrelevant info. Third is confusion, where there are just too many options and it makes a bad choice. And finally, clash, where different parts of the context actually contradict each other. Context engineering is the whole discipline of preventing these exact failures. So, as we wrap up, this is the big, provocative thought I want to leave you with. For the past couple of years, we have been obsessed with how to talk to AI. But maybe, just maybe, the next great skill isn't being a prompter, but being an architect. Not just talking to the AI, but carefully and deliberately building the entire world that it thinks in.